Hickenmeister here with a Hickenmeister helpful video. This one about raising ducklings. These are all females, just over 2 weeks old, if you can believe it. Now, if you live in a rural area, you may be able to buy ducks for a few bucks at your local agricultural supply store. I got these mail order brides through an outfit in Colorado, although they're actually shipped from California. Reason being I got a mail order, I wanted specific types of ducks in the free range of choice that wasn't available locally. What I wanted was 4 runner ducks in slightly different types, as you can see. What we have here is one black runner duck, one chocolate runner duck, one blue runner duck, and one fawn and white runner duck. The fawn and white one looks a bit yellow right now. And if you can believe it, these are just over 2 weeks old. About 15 days now, and that yellow one, well, she looks yellow, but she's supposed to be fawn and white like a dual colored duck once she's all done feathering out. Runners are known for being good egg layers and good insect eaters in the garden. You can let them run loose in a fenced garden, and actually the more disgusting the thing is, the more they'll like it, like a snail or a slug. They'll gobble it on down. I've seen adult ducks munch through a bunch of snails, just crunch them on up like potato chips. These gals are a little young for that though. I didn't want no drakes, male ducks. They can be a little rough on the females, if you know what I'm saying. They don't lay no eggs, and you mix in males and you end up with fertilized eggs. And the idea of breaking into an egg with some partly grown duck embryo in it appeals to you probably no more than it appeals to me. But if you want it, go ahead, go right on ahead and mix in a drake. But hey, not for me. I'll take my duck egg scramble plain, please. Now really, duck eggs are actually superior to chicken eggs, I think, by most people's reckoning. If you're used to eating them, chicken eggs, you'll find the duck eggs are a bit richer, and people say they're better for bacon. I have yet to find this out for myself, however. So these duckling darlings were shipped overnight to me the day after they was born in a cardboard box in some what's called Timothy hay, as I understand it. That's like straw, and the box had all these holes in it. And they came, and they were peeping and cheeping. They don't do no quacking at this age. You can hear. I'll shut up for a second. You just hear the quacking and peeping here. So you see, they just sound little chicks or something. The lady didn't like it much when I told her I was going down to the post office to pick up some chicks. Till she figured out what I meant. Down at the post office, and they're asking me, they call me up, you say, live poultry order here, live poultry order here. And so I rush on down, because they're not good for them to be out in the cold, you know, without no water or nothing for any longer than necessary. They ship them overnight. And yeah, it all seemed kind of risky to me, because they had a little food packet in there, but they did need to stay warm and all stuff. But they arrived healthy, and down at the post office, first thing they asked me, well, you got to name the ducks? And now I'm a kind of a big burly guy, and I didn't want to say, oh yeah, they're real cute, I'm going to name them. Truth is, I'd already named them sight unseen. I just based on the color they were. So anyway, I drive home, and it was pretty good. I was driving down the road, and I could hear these 4 little voices peeping from inside the box. I hadn't seen them yet, and I could tell they're 4 distinct little voices. Now sometimes mail order places, particularly with a big order, I understand they might ship you an extra duck or 2 in case they have a, how shall we say, a DOA. But there was no problem with that. These ducks all arrived healthy and thirsty. I gave them some water right away, which is a good idea, because obviously they hadn't been drinking that box, and they haven't been down to the bar since, I must say. But yeah, they got some water right away, gave them some food right away, and they were pretty cute, I must say. Even I am a big burly guy. Listen, you ducks, I just cleaned that pen. You're jerk ducks. You're messing it up already. I cleaned it up just for this video, and look at the mess you already made in there. It's going to be real bad in an hour, and it's going to be really, really bad 24 hours from now when I come back to clean it up again. Jerk ducks. Anyway, so here's what you need. A watering device, like this chick feeder I got. Now this is really the best thing, because it was okay at first when the ducks were smaller. They have grown so much. They must have tripled in size by the time I got them. But you can see they stick their beaks on in okay, but they go through one of those quarts. I got 2 of them. They go through one of those quarts in just a matter of a couple of hours, and during the night I usually get up at least once, fill it up again. Sometimes I put 2 waterers in. They're going through water like mad now. They're just water pigs. Anyway, so that's the thing. I'm going to have to get some kind of better watering device pretty soon, because those just don't hold too much. The box back there, that's to contain heat mostly and give them some bedding material. Now, that bedding material, I got that. Those are pine shavings. It was a big bag of them. Big bag for about 10 bucks. And you understand you can get for a little less. And there's a lot packed in there. So I just scoop out a few handfuls, give them some fresh bedding every day. First, they sort of nibbling at it, and I was afraid they was trying to eat it. But they figured out pretty quick what food is and what food isn't. And they spit those out. They spit out the chips, like Chaucer. So, yeah, and the box is good to contain heat. What you want to do now is have a heat source. I've got 2 lamps there. Only one of them on right now. I don't really need the other one on. Idea is that the incandescent bulb there, if you can still find one, of course, they put out more degrees than Trump University. So just keep that in mind. They work just fine. You can get an infrared bulb if you need one, want one. But as I've said, I had fine luck with that. Sometimes in the beginning, especially when it was a little colder outside too, just a couple of weeks ago, I was using both of those lamps. A little hard to control the temperature. Got a thermometer sitting there right in the box. Got to adjust them just right, and it depends on the outside temperatures. I said temperature inside your house and how close the ducks are huddled together and stuff like that. But after a while, you kind of get the hang of it, and not too bad. And the idea is, temperature, they need about 90 degrees. Pretty warm starting out as young'uns. And then the idea is you take it down about 1 degree a day until you get down to the ambient temperature outside. So yeah, it's slow. 7 degrees a week or so, and I've gotten them down. Right, you can see I've got the, I don't know if you can read that, but I've got the temperature down there about 74, 75 degrees at the moment. So it's probably a bit low, but I just turned the lamp on after cleaning the thing, so that's why. All right. Oh, you move the lamps around as necessary. It can get real hot in there. I found them in there one time, laying under it about 105 degrees as the thermometer read. And I was, whoa, we don't want no baked duck, but they seem to like it, these ladies just laying around like it was a suntan booth or something. It was okay, but, I'd turn that lamp on real quick. I'd turn it off real quick. I mean, we weren't trying to bake them. They'll huddle together if they get too cold, and that'll tell you, and they'll move away from the lamp. You got to give them space to do that if they're too warm. You don't want them too hot, of course. Anyway, the fact that they move away from the light if it's too hot, not too bad for young bird brains. All right, well, they're just water pigs. They do make a mess. You got to get a feeder or some kind of dish like I got there for the food, and just use real duck starter food. Now, this is kind of a big issue. I know that sometimes at the agricultural supply places they'll say, oh, you can use any kind of starter food. You can use any kind of food. Well, it ain't true, really. You need duck food. You need young duckling food, and you got to have something with the right protein content. You need something with niacin in it so their nervous system develop right and they don't get angel wing, like if they get too much protein too quick, and it causes their wings and the cartilage to form all kind of wrong and weird. So just follow the directions, figure that out, and use the right duck starter food. I had to pay, oh God, it was about 40 bucks for a 10-pound sack of that stuff. It seemed expensive, but it's a lot cheaper than vet bills or sick birds. You don't know sick birds. So, all right, don't let the feed store person talk you into some all-purpose feed. It don't work. 40 bucks for 10 lubs of it, well, that's a lot, but it's important to do it right. You don't want to be paying them vet bills. So you want something with about 20% protein starter feed. All right, you can use something else, I understand. You can mix in oats and do some research on how much you need to water or down other kind of food if you just can't find the proper starter feed. But you got to know how much you can step on it, or got to step on it, because you don't want no sick ducks. Now, I've had some ducks drooling, I must say. When I first picked them up, one of them was drooling when I'd pick it up. And it worried me at first, but then it went away, and then a different duck was drooling on a different day, and they all seem fine now. So I didn't get too excited about it. I know some people do, and they worry, and that would tell you, oh, you must run 10 million tests, rush it to an emergency room and stuff. But you just keep an eye on them and make your own decision on that. But for me, so far, drooling was just a kind of a normal, episodic event. All right, well, the first few days I used just that box. It wasn't that box would be pretty wrecked by now if it was, but I used a box like that without that U-shaped cutout in the front. Just keep them in there. They'd stay in there just fine. But the problem was I had the water in there, and food in there, and the ducks in there. And even though they were smaller, they made quite a mess. And that pine shavings, oh, they got all soggy. It was awful. So with a few days, I figured, oh, got to have to sacrifice the bathtub for this. So fortunately, I got a nice big tub. This is a tub that I was able to string that light bar across. See, I'll tilt the camera up just for a second and show you. I hate shaky cam stuff, but anyway, here it is. There's a light bar strung across the tub. You can see I've got the lights fixed up there. I'll tip it back down there. That's about the only camera movement I will make, I promise. I hate people swinging around cameras like that. Just go, look here, look here. Anyway, so, all right. The box is good. That little lip on the front of the box there, it keeps the shavings in, keeps them from tracking quite so many out into the tub. What you see there on the floor of the tub, that green mat, well, that is a shelf liner. That is like a rubberized kind of anti-slip shelf man thing, and they will walk on that just fine. You don't want them on no slick surface like newspaper or the tub floor for that matter, because they will possibly injure their legs. And sometimes, like that black one's doing right now, they will walk up behind the box, and I got to put some mat down there because that's not too good. They seem to be fine, not injured, but I don't want to cause no problems. Anyway, you can use that stuff. It's easy to clean up. I just take, I had a 6-foot roll. I take it outside, hose it off. I'd cut it into 2-foot pieces. Fits right in there. Got to cut some strips for the side of the box, and that'll clean up your problem pretty good. But boy, you got to clean that thing every day, I tell you. Oh boy, and they're messing it up bad. And the thing is, I can't wait to get them outside in some ways. They're very nice to watch and all, but I'd rather have them in an outside pen. They can't go outside yet because of the weather. They're too cold. They don't have feathers. They can't maintain their own heat yet. But as I build the pen, well, how should I put this? A big burly guy, I don't like to admit something like this, but as you can see, I get a few cuts and stuff as I work on the pen. And, well, then you go in and clean up that duck thing, and you kind of invite maybe a little bit of a biological problem in your hand there. So I got these nitrile gloves, these like rubberized gloves. They're real thin and stuff. You slip them on, just kind of keep your hand nice and velvety smooth and clean, and not no biological hazard. They clean up the pen. I have trouble personally because I'm a big burly guy. Remember, I got big hands, and oh, I got by the 2X large gloves, and they, of course, they're too small. I strain to get them on. I have never been able to find a pair of gloves that actually fit me. But fortunately, these are rubberized gloves. I asked him, just tried. I don't know why. I asked him in the supply store, say, you got any gloves that would actually fit me like for a big hand like this? And they say, oh, I'm sorry, sir, we don't cater to freaks. Anyway, I say, screw them. I got the biggest gloves I could find. And, they work okay. Now, in 7 to 9 weeks, these ducks are going to be fully feathered, and I can get them outside where they can brave the colder weather, and that'll be good. But it is a matter, a lot of time, of balancing your needs and desires against the duck's needs. And I must say, it's like with a child. You got to put their needs before yours all the time. For example, it might be fun to watch them swim around because ducks like water, and ducks this age would take to water great. You put them in a little pool or something. The problem with that is, real young ones, they can drown. They don't know quite how to swim too good, so you have to watch them real carefully. The other thing is they get chilled, and they get out of the water, and they just can't warm up quick enough. And you might stick them under the light or something, hoping for the best. But I just wouldn't chance it at this age. I think you want to wait a number of weeks before you get them in the water and let them do that. They have enough fun splashing around in that little chick feeder for now. Oh, believe me, making a mess. You can see, as this video progresses, you probably notice the boxes, the little tub there, it's getting dirtier and dirtier as I talk. I won't talk forever. This video will not last forever. I know it's been a long one, but yeah, man, by the time it's done, you're going to see a mess in there. So anyway, don't take them outside to places where they can't handle the temperature, and also where other birds have been, because I understand that their immune systems can't handle it, and if the other birds leave some biological agents behind, well, it might be bad for the birds. So wait a number of weeks before their immune systems get up to it. Don't let them go fighting no germ battles just quite yet. Wait till they're older. Also, I live where there are hawks and there are even eagles flying around, and I don't want no predator bird coming down a 100-mile drive and taking one of these little puppies away. You can imagine what would happen, how heartbreaking that would be. So anyway, Build your outside duck house real strong because of predators. I've heard of bobcats, foxes, raccoons, and possums all breaking into them at different times. People, you go on the internet, you hear kinds of people sob stories about that, and it does sound pretty sad. So you don't want those kind of critters manipulating things. They all go to locksmith school. They all figure out how to claw in through wire and things you'd think was too strong for them or too intricate for them to manipulate. But that's not true. That's not true. They can get into places and get into ways that you just wouldn't imagine. So animals are smarter than I am anyway. I designed my pen to have an enclosed laying area out of the weather. It's got a roof, it's got sides, it's got a solid floor, so they can get out of the weather completely if they like, and that'll be where the egg laying area is. But the other half of the pen is going to have a wire floor and wire sides. It'll be strong. You got to be careful with the wire. You don't want to give them any kind of shock wire kind of surface, because those webbed feet, they can get tore up on it pretty bad, and it'll cut their feet, and you won't like that. And you know, you have a hurt bird that way. Be careful. Now on the food, again, I've fed these ducks a few times some earthworms and bugs from outside already, and they just seem to love that. They get all excited when those things come in, and they go hunting around for them long after they've eaten every last one of them. But again, I don't want to give them too much protein, and you give them meat, which is what I guess those worms are. Not that I'd know. Well, they're getting more protein, so you got to be careful. I've also given them things like fine chopped lettuce and broccoli. But just, well, if you do that, watch that they can handle it, okay? Make sure they ain't choking on it. And you can see that one in the back there. She's nibbling on their wood chips, but she'll spit them out. She ain't trying to eat them. That'll be okay. Jerk ducks. Look how they're messing that thing up already. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm always calling you jerk ducks and stuff, but I really like you. I love you guys, and I just want you to know that I'm taking the best care I possibly can. They're real skittish at first about being picked up, and I think for the first few days it's really best if you don't handle them any more than possible. Just leave them alone, kind of let them do their thing, let them get used to their new environment. They're brand new in the world, you know, and they don't need to be hassling around with some humans. And again, just balance your needs against theirs. You know, you don't need to be picking up a duck in the first few days. You can wait, and it'll be fine. And what I do now is I pick each one of them up every day for about a minute and just hold it and stroke it a bit. And it seems like they get a little antsy sometimes, but they seem to actually like it. And I want them to get used to me and be able to follow me around the garden and stuff, or let me pick them up and move them around. And don't want them to be afraid of humans. These are going to be domestic ducks. I'm not trying to release them to the wild or nothing. That'd be a terrible mistake. They don't know how to take care of themselves, and they probably never will, except for eating out in the garden. So that's about it. Try to pick them up every day if you can. Let them get used to you. You'll find that your ducks, if you get ducks, they all have different personalities. I understand each breed has different personalities. Indian runner ducks like these tend to be a little more skittish than others. Some ducks are calmer and a little friendlier. Some are better at sitting on eggs than others. They're not particularly good at that, but since I'm not trying to raise no ducklings from the eggs, I'm not worried about that. And yeah, you'll see they're all different. Some are a little more aggressive than others, some held more than the other. Some of them go after the worms quicker than the other, and they're consistent in their traits. It's kind of interesting to watch them. Let's see. I'm just about done here. Just make sure you do the research on the type of duck you have so you can provide it with optimum conditions starting out its life and later in life as well. So this is Hickenmeister with a Hickenmeister helpful video. And remember, always try to do a little something every day to make the world a better place. And if we all do that, the world will actually become a better place.